Graphing linear inequalities in two variables. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do this with the graphing calculator. Hopefully I've linked a video showing you how to do it by hand, which is what this describes. But basically what you're going to do, you're going to graph the line as if it were an equals. Now if it's less than or greater than only, you'll use a dotted line. If it's got the equal sign underneath it, it'll be a solid line. And if you're doing it by hand, you'll test a point that's not in the graph in the original equation. If you get a true statement, that's the side you shade. If you get a false statement, you'll shade the other side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph these three examples with the TI-83 graphing calculator. So notice that this is y greater than or equals to -1. Immediately when I see that greater than or equals to, I know it's going to be a solid line. What I'm actually going to type in, since it's already y on one side, I'm just going to type in y equals -1. And you should get a horizontal line. So I'm going to plot that horizontal line, or graph it. And it doesn't end, so that's why I put the arrows on the end. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my arrows and I'm going to move it to where it's flashing on the very left. Then I'm going to hit enter, and you'll see it change over here. I'll hit enter again. Now that one is greater than, that one is less than. So I'm hitting enter until I see that one, and that's the greater than. So I hit graph, and it tells me I'm going to shade the region above that horizontal line y equals -1. From the line up. But you should get the idea. And that's all we're doing. So now let's do a couple more. Now once again, before I can use my graphing calculator, I need to make sure it's y equals. Well, this isn't y equals yet, or y less than in this case. So all I'm going to do is subtract x to get y by itself on one side. Now when I'm graphing, I really don't care how this looks, as long as I have y by itself. So that's why I'm not going to write it as -x plus 9, even though I should. I don't have to when I graph it. So I'm going to type in 9 minus x, and then I'm going to go over and hit enter until I see that one, because that's the less than. And then all I do is hit graph. Now that tells me that I need to shade below this line right here. In order to graph this line, all I need is 2 points. So I'm going to go to second graph, which is the table, and pick any 2 points that I want, just to show you that you can go either direction, up or down. And now I'm going to do, let's just pick 0, 9. Well, I want to pick one that's on my graph. So if you're using a computer system, make sure you use numbers that you can plot on the graph. So I can't actually use 0, 9 unless I extend it. I really don't want to extend it. So I'm going to do, just move it down a little bit. And let's just use 3, 6. Which is right 3 up 6. And let's use 4, 5. And I have 2 points, that's all I need. Now since it's just a less than, this is going to be a broken line, because the line is not included in our solution set. So it looks like that line, and once again I'm going to shade everything below it. And once again, this line doesn't stop, so my shading won't stop either. Let's just give you an idea. See that? And that's how you're doing the graphing calculator. Let's do the last one. Once again, I need to have y on one side. So in this case, to get the y by itself, I need to add the 5x. And we end up with y greater than or equals to 8 plus 5x. That's definitely not an x. Why in the world would I put an x? An 8 again. So y greater than or equals to 8 plus 5x. Type in 8 plus 5x. Graph. See that kind of a line? I'm going to go over and hit enter until I see that one, which is the greater than. Which tells me I'm going to shade up there. I'm going to go to second graph, which is the table. I need to find a couple points that I can graph on what I have. So I'm going to use -2, -2. and then -1, +3. It is an equals to, which means I'm going to draw a solid line. Look at that line. Perfect. And I'm going to shade over here. Once again, if you don't have a graphing calculator, hopefully I remember to link a video showing you how to do it by hand with different examples.